Hi Virgo, welcome. Thanks for tuning into my channel, The Fool's Journey Tarot. This is a general love reading for the sign of Virgo for this coming week or last part of October. So this is a general love reading, and of course that means that it can't apply to any kind of relationship, situation, or circumstance that you might be dealing with. It's important to be flexible with the energy. Don't be overly concerned about the gender of the cards. You can mix and match the roles within the reading. That means you can be represented by any of the characters that might show up in the reading. You might feel like I'm reading for you. You might feel like you're cross-watching for somebody that you're dealing with. Parts of the reading may resonate for you and other parts may not. So take what does and leave behind the rest. My intention is to reach those that need this message and will benefit in some way, shape, or form from the message. Okay, Virgo, so we'll go ahead and get started. As you can see, Sylvester's running around the house. He just got up from sleeping, and so he is playing on his cat tree right now, and you'll probably see him jumping around, I'm sure. He'll make his appearance. Carmilla the bird is in her regular bird cage, taking a break. She had some time out. She was out for the Leo reading. Okay, Virgo, let's get started. Let's see what we get for you guys. Here we go. We're going to start off with the Four of Cups, paired with the Five of Cups. Chariot in reverse. Four of Wands in reverse. Two of Wands in reverse. Nine of Swords. Queen of Swords. And the Two of Swords in reverse. Okay, so this Queen of Swords has made a decision. It feels like one that she didn't want to have to make, but she did it because she knew she had to, or she felt like she had to. It's related to something that she's leaving behind. It could be something that she's been working on for a while or something that she's been hopeful for. But she's leaving it behind because she feels like she has to. And she's kind of got this energy of attempting to ignore the grief that it's causing her, because I think that this is painful. I think it's causing her some grief, but I think she's trying to ignore the grief. Because the Queen of Swords is one of those no-nonsense individuals. This is the type of person that, you know, she's like, I don't have time to mess around with feeling bad about this situation. I have to pick myself up by the bootstraps and keep on going. She's not going to dwell in hard emotions. My tripod's messed up. Okay. It started to sink really fast there. So this feels like a decision she had to make. It feels like something that she didn't feel like she had a choice about. And while it might be causing her some grief, she's facing the situation head on. She's getting the job done. She's doing what she has to do. Sometimes you got to make the hard decisions. And I think that's what this Queen of Swords is doing. Making a hard decision. Out of necessity. Let's get some more cards out here for Virgo. Let's see what else we get. So again, Virgo, if you end up resonating with this reading, this could be your energy or somebody that you're dealing with. So just bear that in mind. Even if you're a male, you can embody the Queen of Swords energy. Okay, so we have the Devil in reverse. Six of Swords in reverse. Ace of Cups in reverse. The hanging man in this deck. Sometimes it says hanged man and sometimes it says hanging man. And sometimes I try to say them both together and it doesn't work. Death in reverse. King of Cups. Seven of Swords in reverse. And then we have the Ace of Swords in reverse. Okay, Virgo, so whatever this Queen of Swords is leaving behind or cutting out of her life or making a decision about, feels like she's cutting something out of her life or leaving something behind. It feels like it could be a relationship or a connection that didn't go anywhere or wasn't going anywhere. It feels like a connection that could have fizzled or had run its course. It feels like there could have been... Okay, Sylvester, I know. All right. You can be here for a little while, but once I start shuffling, you're going to have to move. So don't get too comfortable. So with the Seven of Swords in reverse, Ace of Swords, there's some kind of possible deception, sneaky behavior, maybe some lies or somebody not being upfront or forthright, but it's tied to the situation that this Queen of Swords is leaving behind, this decision that she's made. It feels like she's cutting something out. All these swords, I feel like she's slicing and dicing. She's cutting something out of her life, and it's associated with some kind of deception, lies, some trickery, some poor behavior. She's like, you know what? I don't have time to deal with this shit. I gotta let it go. I gotta walk away from this crap. I gotta cut it out of my life. But it is tied to a connection or relationship with this King of Cups, who's feeling grief over this decision that this Queen of Swords has made. Because this King of Cups still has some emotional attachment to this Queen of Swords, Virgo. So this could be your energy or the Queen of Swords. Maybe you're an external party and you're not represented in this reading, and maybe you know somebody who's going through this. But right now I have a King of Cups and a Queen of Swords. And it feels like this Queen of... What are you doing? What are you doing, little man? Oh, I just noticed there's bird shit on my rocking chair that I didn't notice before. I probably stuck my arm in it and didn't realize it. Animals. What do you do? What do you do, Virgo? I mean, you can't get mad at them. They're too cute for that. Sylvester, you have to go. I'm sorry. We'll cuddle later. You gotta go. Okay. I need to be able to move. That's just all there is to it. Okay, so let's go ahead and shuffle up this third deck, see what else we can get for Virgo. No. So here's the thing, I do feel like this King of Cups is tied to whatever this Queen of Swords is severing out of her life. We're gonna call it that. I feel like she's been pretty concise and definitive with her decision. I feel like she's like, you know what? I'm done. Slicing this out of my life. It's not gonna happen. Sylvester, I know you are absolutely adorable. You've got to go. I'm sorry. But then there's this King of Cups. So I'm trying to decide now if this King of Cups is responsible for the Seven of Swords energy. If he's responsible for some kind of deception or poor behavior or sneaky shenanigans or whatever the case may be. It doesn't feel like he is, but he could be. Let's get some more cards out here for Virgo and see what else we get. We have the Lovers, Seven of Pentacles in reverse. The World. The High Priestess. Page of Swords. Six of Swords in the upright this time. Eight of Cups. Oh boy, Sylvester, you are something else. And then we have the Ace of Pentacles in reverse. Okay, so this Queen of Swords walked away from a situation because of some deception, some deceit, some shady behavior, some shenanigans. She walked away from a situation because of the Seven of Swords energy. I don't know that it's necessarily tied to this King of Cups, but this King of Cups is tied to what she walked away. It was some kind of opportunity. It could have been a job situation. It could have been an opportunity to collaborate with this King of Cups, or it could have been a workplace situation or a project, whatever the case may be. It was an opportunity that she walked away from, cut out of her life, decided to leave behind because of some shenanigans. This King of Cups is tied to the situation that she walked away from. And it's unfortunate because I feel like there's a strong connection between this Queen of Swords, Queen of Cups. It's a lovers type connection. This potentially could be a spiritual connection. It could be one of those connections where, you know, it doesn't come around very often. Let's go ahead and put it that way, right? It's one of those connections with somebody that you feel on a spiritual level. Maybe you have even kind of an intuitive connection to this person. It's the type of this is cliche, but it's the type of person who will finish your thoughts, for example. Now, I'm not saying this is necessarily a romantic connection, but it certainly could be. It feels like it could be, especially with this King of Cups coming out, because I think this King of Cups still has feelings for this Queen of Swords. But I think this connection was lost because she walked away, or she severed something out of her life that wasn't healthy for her, that wasn't good for her. She walked away from the situation that this King of Cups is tied to. I don't think she thinks she had a choice. It doesn't feel like she had a choice in the matter, or at least in her mind's eye, she did not have a choice. He just burped. I don't know if you could hear that. It was probably too soft. It cracks me up when he burps. He does it frequently. It's like this big bubble just kind of builds, and then it just, he's like, burp, burp. And you know, if you're not familiar with how he burps, it might seem like he's getting ready to throw up because it has that kind of motion and sound about it, but he was just burping. Sorry, Virgo, that cracked me up. If you didn't hear it, I wish you could have. Because you missed out. So here's the thing with these cards at the top. To me, I feel like it's kind of like, I think that this Queen of Swords is aware that this King of Cups was tied to the situation that she left behind, or cut out of her life, or severed, or walked away from, whatever that looks like for her. I think she's aware that this connection was also tied to the situation, but she's got to kind of be dismissive about the whole connection, because whatever she was walking away from trumped the relationship. And in other words, maybe the relationship was significant. Maybe it was something amazing, you know, but because this King of Cups feels like he was tied to this opportunity or the situation, this Seven of Swords situation, she had to leave it behind. The relationship and the rest of it. let's get this next deck out. I'm going to give it one more shuffle. See if I can't get this done with Sylvester on my lap. He's doing his thing. I hate to shove him off because he's so cute. But he drives me nuts. Ouch, that hurts. Okay, so we have the 10 of Pentacles. Queen of Cups. Six of Swords again for the third time. Queen of Pentacles. Ten of Cups. The Tower in reverse. Ouch. Please don't poke my leg. King of Cups again. Ow. King of Cups again, clarifying the Seven of Swords. Okay. And then we have the Ace of Cups again. Okay, you gotta go. I'm sorry, little man. Later on, okay? Bye-bye. Okay. So I think that, I think this is a two-person reading. We have a King of Cups, and then we have a Queen of Cups, Queen of Swords, Queen of Pentacles. I think these queens are all the same people. Okay, so there's something broken between these two. There's definitely a connection here, and it's still present in the now, even though I feel like this relationship was given up on. There's something else going on here. Okay, so here's what I've got, Virgo. And I think this king is aware of what happened. This king knows. Okay, so this king is aware of why this queen left. Even though the love's still there. Why did this queen leave if the love is still there? Well, this queen left even though she still loves this king because he's tied to the Seven of Swords energy. He's not responsible for the Seven of Swords energy, he's just tied to it. And she needed to get out of the situation to get away from the Seven of Swords energy. It has nothing to do with this King of Cups, but he is somehow tied to this. So, for example, it could be that this King of Cups was associated with somebody else. This could be a third-party situation, although we don't have any indicators yet of third party. But it could be something like that where he's tied to another person or group of people where there was some kind of shenanigans going on that this Queen of Cups decided she needed to walk away from or get away from or cut out of her life. So she did. But there's still a connection between these two. In fact, at this point in time, it might just be an intuitive connection. These two might not have contact. It's possible. Because again, I get the feeling like she walked away from something. She severed it, and this King of Cups is tied to the situation. So she would have had to walk away from him as well. But the love's not going anywhere. There is this emotional connection between these two. It does feel intimate or romantic, but I suppose, Virgo, it doesn't necessarily have to be. You decide what makes sense to you. This could be a family unit. This could be a married couple. Could be a very long-standing relationship that has temporarily been severed. I don't think it's permanent. I think that this queen was forced into the situation, making this decision for herself, but she's still loyal to this king. And they both still have feelings for one another. But whatever the situation was for these two, however it was for these two in the way the relationship was in the past, it couldn't stay that way because there was something. What? Oh, he's back. He's back. I can't help it when he taps my arm. I don't know if you could see him tapping my arm from me. Probably could. It's so cute. I mean, how do you resist something like a little animal coming up and tapping your arm? How do you say no to that, Virgo? Right? Honestly, I can't. It's okay. I've got this last round out. He can stick around. Just as long as he doesn't poke holes in my leg. He likes to do this. But, you know, he's got claws. So it hurts. Temperance in reverse. The Lovers in reverse this time. There's the Seven of Swords. I don't usually take this card, but it's there. Judgment in reverse. Page of Cups in reverse. Three of Cups in reverse. King of Wands in reverse, clarifying this King of Cups. And we have the Devil and the World again. Okay, I kind of feel like this reading feels like it was kind of all over the place for me. Probably because he's interrupting me. But anyway, it's not really a very complicated message, so I just want to go through this with you real quick, Virgo. But Three of Cups in reverse did come up. This could be a third-party indicator for me. There was some kind of other party involved or some kind of group dynamic or something that was going on with another person or multiple people that caused the Seven of Swords energy, ouch, and caused the disruption within this connection. Caused the disruption within this spiritual connection between this King of Cups, Queen of Cups. This queen is still loyal to this king and still loves this king, but she couldn't stay connected to the situation as it was because it was a broken situation, whatever it looked like for them. And that's the part I'm having the hardest time with, because there was some kind of established connection between these two, at least at one time in the past, that this queen had to cut out of her life because it was broken. But it was broken because of something beyond their control. In other words, some other people causing issues, a third-party situation, family dynamic, something of that nature that was out of the hands of this king and queen. And this queen made a definitive decision and said, you know what, I know this king doesn't have any control over this situation, but I've got to free myself from this. It's not healthy, it's not right, it's not going to work. And unfortunately, it of course affects this king and this queen and their relationship. Naturally, it had an effect. Her deciding to walk away from the situation ultimately had an effect on the relationship and on this king. Something that was, again, out of their control. And I think that one of the important messages to get out of this reading today is that there wasn't anything that this king could have done differently, and there wasn't anything that this queen could have done differently. It was circumstances, the way they were within the situation. It was out of their control, and a decision needed to be made, and this Queen of Swords made this decision. Had nothing to do with the relationship itself. So, long story short, Virgo, there's still love here, there's still loyalty here, and there's still potential here with this relationship. So whatever this looks like for you at this point in time, maybe you're working on reconnecting with this person. Maybe you are giving it some time and doing some healing and getting yourself back up on your feet, whatever that looks like for you, and then you're going to reconnect. It does look like there will be potential to come back together when the circumstances are better. When there's not other influences causing problems for this king and this queen. So Virgo, in a nutshell, that's the message for you. I'm going to get a Dreams of Gaia tarot card, and we're going to wrap this up. I still have to go to the grocery store today, which is one of my least favorite things to do. But I have to. I've only got soup left in the pantry. I'm sure there's something else in there, but, you know, when you run out of potato chips and you run out of, you know, the good things to drink and you run out of your favorite snacks, then you gotta go to the store. Right, Virgo? So that's one of my tasks today. I have to get that done. So that's what I'm doing after I'm done with your reading. Going grocery shopping. I mean, I'm looking at these cards, Virgo, if I'm being honest, and I think there's a lot going on here, and there's probably, you know, obviously everybody watching, you're going to have different stories, but there probably is some very significant information that if I pushed further into this reading, could probably find out some juicy details for you, because it feels like there's a lot going on. But it's also my last reading of the day, and then I have to go grocery shopping. So it's not like I, you know, have the energy to pull out another deck of cards or look further into the cards. I'm just going to pull a Dreams of Gaia card and hope that this card gives you maybe some advice. I think that's the one. Let's see what it is, Virgo. The Crone. Interesting. This is absolutely the Queen of Swords, without a doubt. So the Crone typically is a more mature individual, someone who has very independent energy, someone who's very wise. She's similar to the Empress, but she's a very independent energy at the same time. So if you're not an older person, this still can represent your energy, Virgo. Just bear that in mind. You might have an old soul. You might be a very wise individual because you've been through hell and back. You know, you've got a lot of experience under your belt. You've got a lot of life lessons under your belt. So you don't have to be a more mature person, but this typically will resonate with people who are older or more mature. Don't have children anymore, that kind of thing. I am going to read, now this has the regular meaning, the past, present, and future. I'm going to go ahead and just read the regular meaning of it. Came out in the upright. And then we're going to wrap this up. Okay, Virgo, here we go. The Crone symbolizes a proud and mature woman, an aging woman who is no longer influenced by a need to reproduce or parental responsibilities. She may be approaching or have reached a stage in her life where her menstrual cycles have slowed or ceased, but she is no longer true to the Crone archetype of old that is often depicted by Western society. The nature of the Crone has evolved with the times. She is the wise woman who is like nature, wild, still, passionate, volatile, calm, peaceful, adaptable, and flowing, creative, and powerful. She is everything she chooses to be. She is a woman who is aware of her choices and may well have transitioned from maiden to Crone without feeling any need or desire to be a mother. The Crone is unafraid of being alone or of walking her path alone. After centuries of being made an outcast and no longer being seen as having a functional role within society, because of her childbearing days are over, the Crone has learned to look after her own needs. She has, by necessity, become a strong and independent individual who has found new purpose. Her life is full, has meaning and direction, and it is a life of her own design. The Crone is comfortable in her own skin and free of artifice and pretense. Artifice. I might be pronouncing that wrong. She is mature, honest, aware, and wise. She is both understanding and compassionate, but speaks and acts with a directness that some may find intimidating. The crone can be quick to hug and offer support, but she can also be blunt and is unafraid to deliver a tough love message if she feels it is needed. At times, this can give her the appearance of cruelty and ruthlessness, but while the crone is not a hard woman, she can be tough and unwilling to embrace other people's illusions. This is why some will always be quick to vilify the crone. She can be depicted as a cruel, hard, wicked, and selfish hag, and the very fact that she is both unrepentant and unwilling to be what society expects her to be may make her a target for those who are slaves to society's dictates, as well as those who impose society's dictates. But the crone is also very gentle and kind. She is loving, supportive, and nurturing. Every face she wears is her true face, but the face she wears will be the one that she feels is needed at the time. She is who she needs to be when she needs to be. This is why the crone is often portrayed as a woman who is past her prime, wrinkled and ugly. If she is made to believe that she is useless, she can be controlled. If the crone becomes aware of her potential and power, she is a force to be reckoned with. The crone symbolizes the emergence of a mature woman who sees herself as being in her prime, with many fertile, productive, and creative years ahead of her. She is a woman who embraces her true power and potential. Okay, Virgo, a lot went through my head as I was reading this. I don't like the words, some of the language that was used, like hag and stuff. I mean, just because you're older and wiser and more mature doesn't mean you have to take on that persona of, dried up old hag that has no value anymore. I think that's quite the opposite and is the case for this Queen of Swords. So like I said, mature or not, this person is a very independent, strong-willed, intelligent individual who knows what she wants. She knows what she needs to do. She knows how to take care of business. She's independent. She's going to get the job done. At this point in time, whatever was occurring with this King of Cups that interrupted this relationship, and I feel like it was very significant, whatever interrupted this relationship had to be put to rest, had to be dealt with, had to be sliced and diced out of this individual's life, because she doesn't have time for that crap. Doesn't have time for it, Virgo. I don't have time for the nonsense, says this Queen of Swords. But this person is also a Queen of Pentacles and a Queen of Cups. This person has significant amount of love and loyalty and compassion to give, and she is willing to nurture the relationships that benefit her life, that serve a purpose, that are positive, that are nurturing themselves, that are reciprocal. This king has that to offer. Unfortunately, their relationship was established within some kind of mess, some kind of problem, some kind of issue that needed to be dealt with. And so it was dealt with by this person. So Virgo, I'm going to leave that here. I think there's a lot up in the air with regard to this relationship. It doesn't feel over to me. It'll be rekindled when it's time and when the circumstances are appropriate and are going to allow for this type of relationship to flourish instead of be kept from flourishing. I'm going to go ahead and leave that here, Virgo, before I start to ramble, because as you can see, I got back into the cards and started pulling out more information. So I'm going to leave that here. I hope that the reading was enjoyable for you. I hope that you got something out of it. I really appreciate you watching today, Virgo. Thanks so much. If it did resonate, please like, share, subscribe, leave a comment if you want to, and I will see you next time. Bye, Virgo.